Hi everybody, for this week's review I'm going to be reviewing the CS-530 overbust corset made by Orchard Corset. So here is the front, the side, the back, and the other side. The center front of this corset is 15 inches high, and the longest part of the corset from the peak of the bust down to the bottom here at the princess seam is 16 inches. The center back length is also 12.5 inches. In terms of the circumferential measurements, this corset is size 24 in the waist. The bust area is 34 inches, and the hips along the iliac crest here is around 32 inches. And I definitely consider this to be a modern slim silhouette, as it is just a smooth sloping curve here from the bust to the waist to the hips here without a dramatic reduction in the waist. So here is the CS-530 overbust laid flat, and for the materials it's 3 layers, I believe. The fashion fabric is this black satin. It has an interlining of black cotton twill and also a lining you see here of black cotton twill as well. This is what the Orchard Corset label looks like, and this is the label that has the size, the laundering instructions, and the fabric content. This corset has a 6-panel pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and for the construction of this, I believe that the satin has been flat lined onto a twill interlining and treated as one layer, and then this was constructed using the sandwich method, and then it's double boned on the seams here. Holding the corset taut and kind of showing it on an angle, you might be able to see the outline of the waist tape here. So it's invisibly stitched between the layers, and it seems to start at the seam between panels 1 and 2 and extend to the seam, actually the very back seam here by the grommets. Here's a close-up of the binding, so you can see it's made from strips of black satin. It's machine stitched on the outside and on the inside here, so you can see on the outside it's stitched in the ditch, and on the inside here you have that little necessary top stitch if you're going to be machine anchoring that down. There's also 6 garter tabs, 3 on each side. The Modesty panel in this corset is 6 inches wide, so about 4.5 inches of usable space. So you can have a gap of up to around 4.5 inches before the Modesty panel can no longer cover that gap. So it feels like it's just 2 layers, the outer black satin here and the inner black twill, and is obviously unstiffened and is anchored onto one side of the corset here. So if you want to remove the Modesty panel, you just need to take your seam ripper and remove that seam. Additionally, there is an unstiffened Modesty placket, 1/2 inch wide and made from a piece of black satin here that's been folded over and attached to the knob side of the busk. The busk in this corset is 14 inches long, and it has 6 loops and pins. The last 2 pins here are a little bit closer together to give a little bit more control over the tummy. And even though it is 1/2 inch wide on each side, so it is the same width as a standard flexible busk, it is a tiny bit more sturdy than some of the other flexible busks that I have tried in the past. It feels a little bit thicker, but it doesn't give quite as much control as a heavy wide busk would. This corset has a total of 22 bones, 11 on each side, not including the center front busk here. So it's mostly double boned on the seams here, and you can see that they all seem to attract the magnet fairly well. So you can see here 2, 4, 6, 8. Those are double boned on the seams. Those are 1/4 inch wide spirals, and then this particular seam only has 1 bone on the seam. There's no bone on the other side, presumably because if you get down to the very, very small sizes like size 18, there might not be enough space in that panel to put in 1 more bone. And I suppose they wanted to remain consistent with the number of bones in all the corsets. So you can see here 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. These are all 1/4 inch wide spirals, and then 10, 11. These are slightly wider than 1/4 inch wide. I believe they're about 3/8 of an inch wide, and these are flat steel bones sandwiching the grommets, and you can see that these are very, very stiff. There's a total of 24 grommets in this corset, 12 on each side. They are size 00 with a small to medium flash around them, finished in silver, and none of them seem to be coming away from the fabric. They seem to be holding in fairly well. They are equidistantly spaced, a little bit more than 1 inch apart. And here's the underside of the grommets, and you can see that the washes are around the same size. I don't see any damage or fraying of the fabric around the grommets. All of these grommets have some splits in them, and they do catch on the laces, unfortunately. unfortunately. If the laces had been, say, ribbon, I think that they would be catching a lot more. However, these generic kind of shoelace style laces, they're quite densely woven, and when they do catch on the grommets, it's not like they're going to fall apart. They have little to no spring to them. They're very difficult to break, and they hold the bow well, so I have no problem with the actual laces. The one thing that was not my favorite about the way that this corset was laced, though, is that it seems to be a general trend that corsets from this company are laced really, really high on the waist, because my waist would probably be 1 or even 2 sets of grommets down. Now, I know that I have a low waist, so if I were to put the loops here, then it would probably be, yeah, a little bit lower than the waist tape right there, but it would make lacing up so much easier and it would be more comfortable on me. Now, if I wore overbust corsets more often, then I would have cared enough to just put the pull loops where I wanted them or needed them. But for the sake of this review, I wanted to show you guys where the pull loops actually were located as I received it, as it actually came in the mail. The CS-530 overbust corset is available on the Orchard Corset website and is available from sizes 18 inches closed waist up to 40 inches closed waist. And it starts at $87 US up to $92 US depending on the size. As always, you can use my coupon code CorsetLucy15 to get 15% off any purchase at any time of the year. This coupon code does not expire, and I do not get any commission from this. It's just a discount that's available for all my viewers. And now for the bust test. So this corset scored fairly well on the bust test. One thing that I would have preferred, though, is if the bust area of this corset were to curve up and around over some of the top part of the breast here to help contain it a little bit more, say when I'm jumping around or bending over. I did feel that there was quite a bit of control, but this is mostly due to the compression of my bust area, because you can see in the profile it is fairly flattened, and so it's that pressure that is holding me in that is creating the tension that I'm not falling out. But it would be nice if the cup area were to be just a little bit more curved to my contours. And this concludes my review of the CS-530 overbust corset made by Orchard Corset. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something new. If you did, please remember to click that like button down there, help support the channel, and if you have any comments or questions about this corset, or if you've tried it yourself and you want to contribute some of your opinions about it, feel free to leave a comment down below, and I will see you in a few days for the next video. Bye!